What's up, members, makers, members? Hope you guys are all good. All right, I'm going to do something a little bit different with you guys. This past week, I asked you guys to, or the coaches had asked you guys to do a little bit of a nutrition focus. Now, first and foremost, if you do not feel like you're in a spot where you want to focus on your nutrition, please let your coach know. This is not a forced thing whatsoever. We are just trying to give you guys a little bit of extra added value. And nutrition has been one thing that has been brought up by other members that is probably one of their biggest obstacles right now. So I wanted to do something that was going to help out with that. However, this is not made to be overwhelming, just help you guys focus on it a little bit more and give you guys some clarity. If you guys feel like your nutrition is okay, but actually your mental game needs a little bit of work, we actually also have a 21-day mental focus challenge. So if you are interested in that, let your coach know. But what I want to do is I want to break down basically what my food was this past week and show you guys how we can use my fitness pal to help us create better habits or understanding of where we currently are at in our nutrition. Now, also a little side note here. This does not mean that you need to track your macros all the time. This is just giving you an idea of where you are at right now. And if you want to stop tracking macros after this, that's really cool. But now you know specifically what you need to work on because you have the actual data there. If you like it, tracking macros, and you can continue tracking macros and we can give you a little bit more of tangible goals here. But all right. So what I did is I tracked my macros. And for those of you who don't know, I was an avid tracker for like 2 years straight. And once I stopped competing, I decided that I want to take a little break from it. So it's been a really long time since I've tracked macros. I personally, if you ask me how I felt about my eyeballing measurement skills, I'd say that I feel pretty dang good about it, and that I was eating pretty similarly to what I was back when I was competing. I just brought the overall intake down just a little tiny bit because I'm not working out nearly as much as what I was back then. So overall, I would think that my tracking was pretty good without actually tracking it on my fitness pal. Now let's test it out and see if that was true. So the first thing that I do when I get a nutrition client is I have them log their food so I can see exactly how much they are eating. And then from there, I have some of their base information so I can figure out exactly how much they actually need to eat. So those are two different things. How much you are eating right now versus how much you need to eat, definitely two different things. So this was actually my last day of like full-blown tracking on this. I did track halfway through here and there, but this was my third day, my final day of being really aware with this. So this day I ate 2,177 calories. The next day, or the day before that, I ate 1,746 calories. Ooh, let's zoom that back out. And then I didn't track on Sunday. It was Easter, so it went big on that day. But on Saturday, I did track and I got 1,682 calories. So you can see that there is a little bit of inconsistency there. Now, the reason why we start at calories is because there is some truth to the whole calories in, calories out thing. However, your body has to be healthy in order for that to be true. And when I say healthy, I mean more of like your metabolism needs to be healthy in order for that to be true. And a lot of times, what we see with people is that they go on diets and they cut out a lot of their food, and then they never go back to a maintaining weight. They go cut more and more and more food. So, if you have a past of yo yo dieting, then your metabolism might not be as healthy as what you think it is. And this is how we kind of know whether it is at a good, healthy spot or not. Because with those 3 days, I get an average. I actually didn't really average it out, but let's say my average is probably guesstimating around like, I don't know, let's say 1,800 because I had that one really high day. If I had 5 days of tracking, what I would do is I'd take out a low, take out a high, and then average out the rest of them, and that would give me a better average. But anyways, so this is my actual average intake. Now, from there, the next thing that I do with a client after I get their log is I see how much they need to be eating. And we do this with some basic information. The information that I use is height, weight. It's also good to know what their lean muscle mass is. So a body fat test really helps with this, but it's not 100% necessary. So once again, height, body weight, age, and that's basically it. From there, I also need to know how much that person is working out, meaning how many days a week they're working out, how many hours they're working out, and what type of workout they're doing. And then the last thing is what they are doing for a living. Someone who is working construction versus someone who has a stay at home job or sitting at a desk all day is going to look, their total intake is going to look totally different, or how much they're burning in a day will look totally different. So anyways, with those numbers, with that information, I come up with these two numbers: a basal metabolic rate and a totally daily expenditure. Your basal metabolic rate is how much you need to eat in order for your organs to function properly, in order for your body to have enough food, which equals energy. So, enough energy, fuel source for your body to function without even doing any movement. Okay, so BMR might be where someone needs to be if they're having a rest day, but probably not. They probably need to eat a little bit more than that, because let's get real, you're not sitting on the couch all day. And if you're stressed out, like even if it's just like stress because you're like, oh my God, we're in COVID-19, guess what? That actually takes energy for your body. So it wouldn't be at the 1200, it would be a little bit higher because you're stressing out your body, and that takes more energy. So, anyways, that's what basal metabolic rate is. Total daily expenditure is how much I think that I need to eat in order to be at maintenance weight with how much working out, moving around that I'm doing throughout the day. So, right here, you can see that my intake is a little bit lower than what my total daily expenditure is. Um, but the good thing is it's higher than my basal metabolic rate. It's way above that. So thank goodness, because that means that I have some wiggle room in there. Now, for myself, right now, I'm at a spot where I don't necessarily need to gain weight. I don't need to lose weight. I'm kind of happy with where I am. I want to maintain. Honestly, I think right now I have been maintaining, and I've been at that 1800 number. But I think that if I was to be a little bit more consistent, which is one of my suggestions to myself, and if I was to consistently eat at, say, closer to my total daily expenditure numbers, my body would pick up on it fairly quickly, and it would learn how to use this fuel a little bit better for my workouts versus turning it into fat. So, my own personal goal after this is actually to get consistency and to be more like the slowly getting up towards my totally daily expenditure. I'm not going to just jump there right away. I'm going to start off slow. So this first week, my goal is to hit 1850, but be absolutely consistent with it every single day and see how my body adjusts to it. As a coach, things that I'm looking for someone is what they're feeling like how their recovery is, how their sleep is, how they feel like they're looking in the mirror versus weight. And if we wanted to get measurements, we could get measurements of like bicep, belly, quad to give us a better idea. And with that information, then I would up numbers or lower numbers from there. Now, how could I do this? So if I was tracking macros, this is my goal. Now, how could I do this without tracking macros? Without tracking, I would probably consistently, like if we're going to go through my days, consistently, I think I put it in there. No, I didn't. Consistently or consistency with meals. Because I can tell you this, there was times where I had, okay, here's my breakfast. This lunch right here is a pretty like not great lunch. I mean, come on, it's just brown rice and some tofu. Like, where's the veggies in there, Britt? So I would probably try to gain more consistency in my lunch. My dinner, this looks kind of silly, but I actually had a sun basket and it gives you the measurements on there. So I was able to just quick add that in. I don't know why it says 3 protein. That's absolutely wrong. Um, Here we go. On Monday, I had probably a trifecta meal or a sun basket meal. Breakfast, like 2 slices of bread. I had toast that day, and that was it. So I think that I could gain a little bit more consistency and balance in each one of my meals. This was probably one of my better days right here because that's a pretty solid breakfast. Lunch, we have some greens, we have some meat, we have some healthy fats in here. For dinner, I had a sunbasket meal. That's what you see right there. I had some wine. We got to balance that out. And I had a little dessert with that dried mangoes. So this was actually probably my best day, just a little bit over on my numbers. So the way that I would probably bring that down is I would look at my macros here. I see that my fats are a little bit higher, so I need to bring my fats down. Maybe take out the avocado. Um, Maybe take out the avocado here too, or an egg rather than 2 eggs. So that's how I would adjust that basically. But, all right, the second thing that I would look at other than numbers is then I look at protein. And actually, if you look at my protein, I am not proud to say that my protein numbers are very low. I'm at 87 on this day that I just said was my best day. The next day I'm at 83, and then the last day I'm at 67. My goal is to hit 125. Why 125? Well, we need zero point 0.8 to 1.2 grams per body weight to maintain, well, zero point 0.8 would be to maintain the current muscle that we have. I like setting protein at 1 gram per body weight, or 1 gram per body weight that you want to be at. So if you want to weigh, if you like are 150 pounds and you want to weigh 140 pounds, then I would set it at 140 grams then. But my legs were definitely really shot at the beginning of the week, and I would believe that it was because my protein numbers were down. So my goals these upcoming weeks is to up the consistency, to get my protein levels up. And I can obviously see how I do with that by tracking. But if I didn't want to track, the ways that I could get my protein up, looking at my plans here, is one, it looks like I don't have any, like my lunch right here was pretty low. I just had tofu. So if I was going to do a vegan vegetarian option, I need to have another fuel source that has more protein in it, like quinoa or lentils or some sort of protein like that. I could even do like a vegan protein shake or something. On this day, looking at my numbers, I only had, oh, breakfast was not very high in protein at all. I need to make sure that I have a higher protein with that. So even if I want to do toast, doing something like egg whites with eggs, so then I can get the good cholesterol from the eggs, but eggs don't have a lot of protein in them. You can see right here, I had 2 eggs and it's still just 14 grams of protein, which isn't enough. I should probably be getting around 20 grams of protein. So adding the egg whites in, which you see I did right there, really helps that number bump up. That gives me 34 grams just adding in those egg whites into it, which is really helpful. This was probably my highest day. I could probably up this a little bit by more by having a little bit more at lunchtime because I was only at 19, and then having a snack in here that has high protein in it, whether that is lunch meat or, snacking on some um, cooked chicken or an RX bar or some, oh gosh, I'm blanking, some jerky. There's a ton of different options out there, protein shake, but oh, or my favorite snack is doing like Greek yogurt with um some fruit in there, putting in a little bit of honey myself. putting in some cinnamon, maybe if I'm feeling really wild, some peanut butter in there, but that would definitely help out for sure. Okay. So hopefully that helps you see how we can use a log like this to just hone in a little bit more. Because otherwise, if I didn't have this log here, one, I would think that like I was pretty like solid with my eating, or on the other, actually I didn't, I was like, whoa, I'm all over the place and I already know this. So it helps me see exactly where I'm all over the place at, and it's mostly with making sure that I'm consistent with my meals and having balanced meals, and having enough protein in there. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful. If you are interested in any sort of breakdown like this, please let me know. And I hope you guys are all well and healthy. Talk to you guys all later. Miss y'all. Bye.